Welcome to the Using the Vari-EPP Student Teaching Form module. Completion of the module will require approximately 12 minutes. In this module, you will learn about why and how to use the Valid and Reliable Instruments for Educator Preparation Programs form, known as the Vari-EPP Student Teaching Form. This assessment is used to monitor student teachers' progress throughout the semester and formally evaluate student teachers in a three-way conference between the student teacher, university supervisor, and cooperating teacher at the middle and end of each semester. Student teachers should reach out to their cooperating teachers prior to the beginning of the semester to introduce themselves and learn more about their placements. Supervisors should arrange to visit the placement site prior to the beginning of the semester, if possible, or shortly after the semester begins. During this initial visit, the supervisor should review the program expectations and assessments for student teaching with the cooperating teacher. The student teacher does not need to be present at this meeting, but if he or she is already in the placement, the supervisor is encouraged to invite the student teacher to attend. In addition to reviewing the program requirements, the supervisor should also answer any questions or address any concerns related to the Vari-EPP student teaching form, or the program's expectations for the student teacher during student teaching. Finally, the supervisor should discuss the timelines for the observation visits and assessments, which we will discuss further throughout this module. Please contact the program coordinator at your individual institution if you have questions about your program's specific requirements for the beginning of the semester meetings and procedures. Observation requirements are specific to individual programs and institutions. Each program will have a protocol for the number of times a supervisor and cooperating teacher are required to formally observe the student teacher. Additionally, each program will have a specific observation form used to provide feedback. Consult the program coordinator if you have questions pertaining to these requirements. In general, it is recommended that the supervisor formally observe the student teacher at least 5 times during the student teaching experience. In some programs, these may include a combination of in-person and video observations, so check with your program for details. Cooperating teachers should provide ongoing support and feedback on a daily basis in the classroom, but will also likely be asked to formally observe and provide detailed feedback, a fixed number of times. The Vari-EPP student teaching form was created to facilitate and document the three-way conference conversations between the student teacher, the cooperating teacher, and the university supervisor. Each member of the conference should arrive at the conference meeting with his or her rubric already completed. The official score that a student teacher receives will be the consensus of this three-way conference. The purpose of this meeting is to ensure that the perspectives of each member of the team are taken into consideration when evaluating the student teacher. This process not only supports more accurate evaluation, but it also provides a student teacher with feedback from multiple perspectives he or she can use to improve his or her practice. The three-way conference should take place twice during the semester. First, a three-way conference is held in the middle of the semester as a formative assessment to help the student teacher identify areas of strength and opportunities for growth in the remaining time in the placement. Second, a final conference is held at the end of the semester as a summative assessment of the student teacher's performance throughout the experience. The purpose of the three-way conference is for each person, the student teacher, the cooperating teacher, and the university supervisor, to have an opportunity to share each person's evaluation of the student teacher's performance. At this conference, each person will share the ratings and evidence he or she wrote on the form, and the university supervisor will record the consensus. A consensus form can be found in the supplementary materials for this module. In order for the three-way conference to proceed smoothly, each person needs to come to the meeting prepared with his or her form completed entirely. At the conference, the group will agree upon a consensus score, which is recorded and ultimately used for the student teacher's formal evaluation. The Vari-EPP student teaching form was created to align to the CAEP standards and the Ohio standards for the teaching profession. As such, it is intended to assess student teachers in any context area. Many licensure areas will use an additional form that focuses specifically on the student-teacher's content areas, so please check with the program coordinator about additional required assessments. In this module, we discussed how the student teacher, cooperating teacher, and university supervisor use the Vari-EPP student teaching form and come together to evaluate the student teacher's performance at the middle and end of the semester in a 3-week conference. We also discussed the Vari-EPP student teaching form's alignment with state and national standards for student teachers in all content areas. Remember to check with your program coordinator if there are additional forms in your area. To test your understanding of using the Vari-EPP student teaching form, we will ask some additional questions about the content of this module. The following post-quiz will help you gauge your understanding of the objectives and content addressed in this module. Please answer each question. To receive credit for this module, you must answer at least 4 of the 5 questions correctly. Upon submitting your answers, you will receive immediate feedback and you will be able to view the correct answer for each question. If you do not pass the first time, review the module content and attempt the quiz again.